Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I welcome you all to the Concept YouTube channel. Let's discuss today's topics. Again, a very important topics that we are going to discuss. First, we will discuss about certain arguments made on vaccine. So again, the discussion is going on vaccine. So we'll try to understand. There is one concept named as booby trap. Booby trap. This topic is related with GS paper 3 under internal security. Next is about the Kalapani dispute. We'll try to understand the dispute, Kalapani dispute as well, because again Nepal has raised issue on this particular aspect. So we will try to understand this dispute, Kalapani dispute. Next, we will discuss about Trump impeachment, Special Marriage Act. Again, in yesterday session that we conduct in Let's Crack UPSC channel at 9 a.m. in Hindi. So in that we have discussed in detail about Special Marriage Act. In the end, I will give you the mains question. So this session is presented by me. My name is Saurabh Pandey. You can join Unacademy. You have a great opportunity to be a part of UPSC CSE Combat Series. You can enroll now. Link is given in the description box. So in this series, if you are able to score first 3 ranks, you will get free Unacademy subscription. And from rank 4 to rank 150, you will get Amazon voucher. To join, use the code SPLIVE. You can join my course on optional, agriculture optional. There are many batch courses that are starting from 18th of Jan for 2022-2023. There are many prelims specific courses that you can cover. So what you have to do, you have to take a combo pack, GS and of optional combined pack. If you are preparing for 2022 and 2023, use the code SPLIVE. If you are using this code SPLIVE, the amount will reduce by 10%. At the same point of time, you will be able to watch all my courses for whole year, and all the batch courses and test series and courses by all top educators. So whole platforms you will be able to access for 1 year or 2 years. To download PDF of this session, you have to visit Telegram channel, that is SP Current Affairs. SP Current Affairs. Daily Dose with S. Pandey. You can send your mains answer in this Telegram channel, that is Daily Dose with S. Pandey. So let's start the first topic. World's largest vaccination program begins today. So this is information I think most of you are aware about it. So under this vaccination program, the target will be first, they will target the healthcare workers. Vaccinating healthcare workers also become very important, because to sustain the health system, it is required that the people or the personnel who are working in the health system should need to be immunized. They need to be given vaccine first. After that, everyone who are above 50 years, people who are suffering from comorbidities. So these are the priority sections as per the government guidelines who will be given vaccines. People who are not included, presently not included under this vaccination program, first is those with age 18 or below, pregnant and lactating mothers, people with history of allergic reactions, they will not be included in this vaccination program. Second, the second issue is this article is also very important, and this is related with vaccine optimism and scientific uncertainty link. On continuous basis, you can observe many articles written by many scientists and who are aware about the vaccine program, who have worked in these areas, who are part of the scientific communities. They have emphasized continuously, they have emphasized that before India embark or start the world largest COVID-19 vaccination program, which is again starting from today, it is required that transparency need to be maintained. Transparency related with what? Transparency basically related with the process and procedures followed in the updation and in the formation or creation of these vaccine. If you talk about vaccine program, in this vaccination program, it is a classic example of public and private partnership. You can quote this example under GS paper 3. It's a very good example under, we can say, under a public private partnership. You can quote this example under GS paper 3. Why we are saying it is a public private partnership? The reason is, like, for vaccine supply is a responsibility of pharma companies. We can say, like, there are many pharma companies who will take the responsibility of vaccine supply. At the same point of time, the responsibility of implementation of the program lies with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So the model that we are following for the implementation and the success of the vaccine program is the public-private collaboration or partnership. So you can quote these examples. There are two major vaccine. One is the Covishield, and this Covishield is produced by Serum Institute of India, and Covaxin is produced by the Bharat Biotech. They have been granted permission for the restricted use in an emergency situation. Before the launch of any of the vaccines, in traditional sense, or in the modern sense, clinical trial is done. Always a clinical trial is done. For example, if you talk about the traditional approach of the clinical trials, there are 3-step approach always followed. One is designing, other is conducting and analyzing the collected data. One is designing, then conducting, and then analyzing the collected data. Basically, the purpose of doing the clinical trial, step by step clinical trial is done so that different data can be collected based on the impact of these vaccine on volunteers, and depending upon the data generated, certain changes, if required, need to be done or can be done. The very basic point highlighted is related with adaptation. Adaptation is a very, we can say, a very important step in clinical trial. Why we say clinical trial adaptation is a major step? The reason is that most of the vaccines which are related with the virus, these virus continuously change their strains. They change their strains after a particular period of time. It is a possibility that vaccine may be ineffective or the vaccine impact may reduce because of the change in the strain of virus. So what we have to do, we have to take certain steps. We need to take certain precautionary measures. We need to redesign our clinical trial methodology so that with the change in the virus strain or certain changes which are visible among the volunteers, the changes arises because of the insertion of these vaccines among the volunteers. So the side effects need to be analyzed, and based on the collected data, if required, the adaptation can be done and certain changes can be made. For example, if it is required, depending upon the procedures, eligibility criteria, study dose, treatment duration, everything can be changed. So to carry out the adaptation or to bring out the adaptation, it is very much required that transparency in information sharing need to be made. And if the transparency is not made, maybe the trust among the people will reduce, and it may result into what we call it as vaccine hesitancy. The term that we always use, what we call it as vaccine hesitancy. Comment section, please let me know what is vaccine hesitancy. So there are many regulatory concerns, there are many challenges. We are saying that we need to develop a good communication network. If you are not focusing or developing a good communication network, there is always a possibility that because of the dearth in a efficient communication network, the linkage between the people and the government or the agencies who are implementing the vaccination program, we may say there can be a trust deficit. A proper information sharing or dissemination will not be made. So it is said that we need to opt for an effective communication network, and it has to be implemented or created by the policy makers. Certain effectiveness, what kind of effectiveness of the vaccine is achieved, what are the side effects that are seen, what steps need to be taken to overcome these side effects. Such types of information need to be shared with the people who are taking the vaccine and also with the common people. So all these steps need to be taken. Next topic is related with the Kalapani. This topic is related with international relation. Under international relation, the question can be framed under GS paper 2. Nepal raises Kalapani boundary issue with India. So we need to understand Kalapani. What basically is a Kalapani issue? That is again very important. So from that perspective, we will understand the Kalapani. First, we have to understand the location of Kalapani. So this is Kalapani, this is Nepal, and this is Uttarakhand, and here you have Kalapani. So the basic question related with geography can be framed. This is Kalapani, this is Nepal, and this region is Uttarakhand. Again, you can see Kalapani, you have Lipu Lake Pass. So to understand the basic geography, you can see this map. So here you have a Kalapani, and here you have a Lipu Lake Pass. This region you have a Kailash Lake Mansarovar. This region you have a Mount Kailash. Then you have a very important passes that you need to know from geography perspective. For example, you have Dolma Pass here. Parkha Plains are there, Lake Mansarovar is there. This is Lipu Lake and Kalapani. Recently a road has been built from Dharchula to Lipu Lake Pass. This will reduce the time required to move to this region. This will also provide a strategic advantage to the Indian armed forces if they want to send the supply near the post supply to the post near Chinese border. For example, this region is under Chinese control. So under this context, we can say the infrastructure that we are building are again very important. Kalapani is a territory disputed between India and Nepal. It is a territory disputed between India and Nepal, and it falls under Pithoragarh district in Uttarakhand state. Now Kalapani, if you talk about, it is a part of a headwater of the Kali River. Kali River is a river which separates the western part of the Nepal with that of Uttarakhand. A few years back, around 1816, a treaty was signed called as Treaty of Sugal. In 1860, a treaty was signed named as Treaty of Sugal by Nepal and British East India Company in 1816. And as per the treaty, the Kali River has been taken as the western boundary with India. Okay? Nepal's western boundary with India. It has been, but because of certain geographical factor, this Kali River has been changing its stream. Also certain rivers, for example, Kalapani River is also a part of Kali River. It is also changing its course. Kali River is changing means there is a dispute regarding the origin of certain streams which are related with the Kali River, and because of the change, or we can say different perception related with the origin of Kali River and the Kalapani River, there is uncertainty and no clarity regarding this. There has always been a tension between India and Nepal related with this issue. So that we have to understand, and Britishers never took such steps which can establish clarity regarding the river Kalapani. So this point you need to understand. Next topic is person in news. You need to remember Samira Fazli. Samira Fazli will be, we can say, she will be appointed on Thursday. She is of Kashmiri origin, and she will be appointed as a deputy director of US National Economic Council. So you just need to remember the name if the question is framed. Next is about the impeachment. We have discussed it earlier also. Donald Trump is a person is the first person in the history of USA who will face double impeachment. Earlier, he faced impeachment because of power abuse factor, and now he will face impeachment because of the kind of violence done by his supporter in US Capitol. For example, in the US Capitol, in US Parliament, there are two houses, House of Representative and Senate. So it is said that House of Representative, this impeachment resolution may come, and this impeachment resolution somehow will highlight the reason also why this impeachment is carried out. After that, the resolution will move to the Senate, but it is said by many of the constitutional experts that by 20th he has to leave his position. The new president will take the office. Under such circumstances, Donald Trump cannot be impeached. Cannot be impeached in such a small time period, but the steps can be taken so that certain proceeding can be started against Donald Trump. Also, it can be ensured that Donald Trump may not be able to contest election in future. So such steps can be taken. Next is 100 booby trap found in Telangana. Booby trap is a term that you have to understand. It can be used under GS paper 3 in internal security thing. The question can be framed. So booby trap is a kind of a device or setup that is intended to kill, harm or surprise a human being. If you see this picture, you can understand such booby traps. There are many ways of setting such booby traps. For example, these are the nails which are put inside this area under the ground. It is so if a security forces vehicle passes over this area, what will happen? The tire will be damaged, and some rebellion or a terrorist or any of the Naxalites, they can attack on terrorists. They can attack on we can say on security forces. So the reason is this is a big challenge in front of the security forces because it's very difficult to identify these booby traps. And even while dealing the problem of Naxalism in India, these booby traps need to be identified before any of the operation is carried out, and security forces take various steps in order to identify these booby traps. So it's a big challenge even in front of the security forces. Next is mounting pressure on China. US blacklist Xiaomi. So US has blacklisted Xiaomi. It has said that such companies, they have the link with the military of China. So such a blacklist may impact the business of such companies, especially in India and other part of the world, mainly in Europe and USA. Next is about Special Marriage Act. So Special Marriage Act, recently Allahabad High Court has given a judgment on Special Marriage Act. As per the Special Marriage Act, if you talk about the Special Marriage Act, it applies when there is an interfaith marriage. When you have an interfaith marriage, earlier the proceeding was that a notice will be published. A notice will be published. As in the notice, the couple identity will be given, and it will be highlighted that if anyone has any issue with this marriage, so some will come and they will put certain reservation related with the marriage. So it is said that such notice or such provision under Special Marriage Act is totally against the fundamental rights. It is against the liberty, and it is also against what we call it as the privacy. So Allahabad High Court has highlighted, it has emphasized that from now onwards, only if the couple wants to publish that notice, then only it will be done by the marriage officer. Otherwise, it cannot be done, as it is totally against the by the privacy right to privacy and liberty. Let's see the question. Today's question: booby trap imposes challenge in front of security forces while dealing with Naxalism. You have to explain. You have to write down your answer. You can send your answer to Telegram channel Daily Dose with S. Pandey, and try to send your answer daily. Today we will have the session answer writing championship session. So I will discuss the answer, also the best answer also I will let you know. So develop the habit of writing the answer writing championship session will be on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So you will have 3 days you will have these sessions. So don't forget to write the answer daily, because writing is again very important. I request each of you, do like the session and share the session, and don't forget to press the bell icon, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you everyone, and let's crack it.